Hey friends, what's up? And welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Yud Beis, Daf 12 of Masechta Taanis. Friends, what does Daf 12 talk about? Daf 12 talks about doing partial fasts. Alright, that sounds like fun. Also, accepting a fast upon yourself, right? You have to, you don't just randomly fast. You kind of accept in advance that, tomorrow I'm going to fast. And then we talk about what happens if there's still no rain. Sort of up the ante a little bit. The fasts start getting a little bit more serious. So we're going to get to a new Mishnah about that. Friends, let us jump in. We are on Daf Yud Aleph Amud Beis, all the way at the bottom. Amr of Chizda. Now we are on Yud Beis Amud Aleph. Hade Omar, that which you said, Misan in the shows, that you can fast for just a few hours, right? Remember at the end of the day yesterday we were talking about the concept of can you just do a partial fast? It initially came up with, you have a fellow who fasted on one day and then sort of just ended up not eating the following night. Can he say anenu, which is sort of the special prayer of a fast day? Can he say that the next day? We had said no, perhaps because he wasn't planning on extending his fast, but whatever it is, the concept of partial fasts has come up, and now we're saying, the Omer Misan in the shows, when we're saying that you can do a partial fast, but you can't eat until the end of the day. Isn't that a funny statement? The Gemara is about to ask, but you can do a partial fast, you just can't eat for the entire day. It's like, what makes that partial? Omar le Abaye. So Abaye says to Rav Chizda, why would Abaye be saying something to Rav Chizda? I wonder. Alright. Well, I guess it's not so crazy. I feel like you just don't see it so often. So Omar le Abaye. So Abaye says to Rav Chizda, Abaye's contemporary, of course, was Rava. Rava was the son-in-law of Rav Chizda, so it's not so crazy. I feel like you just don't see Abaye communicating with Rav Chizda all that often. Taanis ma'al yusahi. In fact, Abaye, one second, Rav Chizda, you just said you can do a partial fast, but you just have to fast the whole day. What you mean? Well, it could be talking about where he changed his mind. What it means by a partial fast is he wasn't necessarily planning to fast the whole day. Right, he just realized that oh gosh, I haven't eaten all day. May as well just turn this into a fast day, and then as long as you don't eat for the rest of the day, then check. All right. V'amar Rav Chizda says Rav Chizda called Taanis shelo shaka olav chama lav shmei Taanis. Okay, any fast day that you didn't fast the whole day until sunset. So then it's not actually a proper fast. But we have a kasha. But 1 second, we have a kasha. The Mishnah later on Daf Tes Vav, is going to be describing the different fast days, the public fast days for rain, and saying that on these fast days, the Anshe Mishmar. So as Rashi says, actually the Kohanim and the Levites who are serving in the temple. So Misana v'lo mashlimin, they take a fast, but they don't complete the fast. So they start the fast, but they don't complete the fast because they have a lot of work to do in the Beis Hamikdash, and in the interest of being able to do their duties properly, so they don't complete their fast. So, but it would sound like there's some kind of value in their partial fast, even though they're not going to be, fasting the whole day. So we say, they aren't doing it to fast. They're just doing it to be noisei ba'olam chaverot. Right? They're just doing to be with the rest of the tzibur. That if the congregation is fasting, so they just want to, sort of be mitzayir themselves with the rest of the congregation. However, it doesn't actually count as a fast. To count as a fast, you have to fast the entire day until the night. Tashma kamanir the Amar Belazar Breb Tzadik. It says Belazar Breb Tzadik. Friends, this is a Gemara that we saw in Masechta Eruvin. Ani mibnei banav shel Sanav ben Binyamin. I am of the children of Sanav shel Binyamin. Ufam achas chotes be'ov lios b'Shabbos. One time, Tisha B'Av fell out on a Shabbos v'dachinu lachar Shabbos, and we pushed off the fast until Sunday. So now v'saninu bo v'lo ishlamnu, and we fasted on the 10th of on this nidche, but we didn't complete the fast. Mipnei sheyom tiv shelanu hu, because it is a yom tiv for us. So the family of Sanav shel Binyamin, right, I think we're going to learn later on, Taka Masechta Taanis, that there were different families who merited to donate wood to the Beis Hamikdash. And on the day that they would donate wood, there would be a Yom Tov for them. It says Rabbi Elazar Bar Tzadik that he is of the family of Sanav Shel Binyamin, that on the 10th of Av every year was the day that they would donate wood to the Beis Hamikdash, and it would be a Yom Tov for them. And one time what happened was Tisha B'Av was on a Shabbos, so they pushed off Tisha B'Av until Sunday. So Memele, this day which is a Yom Tov for them, was actually a fast day. So what they did was they fasted a partial fast, right? It says V'saninu bo, we fasted on V'lo Shlamnu, but we didn't complete the fast Yom Tov Shalanu because it was a Yom Tov, a festival for us. So we see that there seems to be some value in doing a partial fast. Also Nami, let's say so the Gemara answers no. There as well, they didn't actually count as a fast. It was just to sort of be mitzayir themselves, to sort of afflict themselves with the rest of the people. But it didn't actually count as a fast day, because it doesn't count as a fast day unless you fast until the night. Tashma, come in here. Domer Rabbi Yechanan. The Rabbi Yechanan says, Taanis that I will fast until I get home. Okay, so it sounds like once he gets home, he's going to eat. He's fasting until he gets home. It sounds like there must be some kind of value then in fasting, even if it's just until you get home. No, so there as well, Rabbi Yochanan was not actually intending to fast, or for it to count as a fast. He just didn't want to get stuck at the Bein Nesiyah. He didn't want to get stuck at the Nasi, and therefore, in order to be able to say, no, I can't eat, he just says, oh yeah, it's a fast day for me. But the truth is, he didn't really want it to count as a fast. He just wanted to have an excuse. It's not a good idea. Maybe I should use that. I can't, I'm fasting. That's interesting. I can't come, I'm fasting. Alright. Interesting. Alright, good thing, alright. Something to add to the list of excuses. Okay, can't come, I'm fasting. Alright, what do you want me to tell you? Let's go weiter. Okay. You always got to be looking out for good excuses. Alright, let's go weiter. I can't come, I'm fasting. Amar Shmuel, says Shmuel, Kol Taanis shelo kibel alav miba'od. Don't tell my father, by the way. Amar Shmuel, Kol Taanis shelo kibel alav miba'od yom. Any fast day that was not accepted upon oneself from before, lav shmei Taanis, it doesn't count. So kilu, if you just wake up one day and say, I'm not eating today, that doesn't count. You have to davke accept it. You have to, set yourself up for it the day before. V'i, Yosef Mai, what happens if you didn't, sort of set up the fast in advance and you fast? So does it do anything good? Says Rabbi Shila that it's like a bellows that's filled with wind. Alright, so it sounds like, no, you're going to be full of hot air. Whenever I think of bellows, I think of the Dr. Seuss book, You're Only Old Once. There's like this one part in there where he's with some doctor that created some kind of system that uses bellows for something. I think to see if like the air can go through one ear and out the other or something like that. Alright, so it's an interesting book, You're Only Old Once, Dr. Seuss. Alright, not for the kids though. V'i Yosef Mai Omer Rav Bashila Dom Mapucha Demal Yazika Viter. Amos Makbil Lay. So when do you accept the fast upon yourself? When do you do it? Rav Omer b'minche, Ushmul Omer b'tfilas mincha. So Rav says that you accept it upon yourself at in the afternoon, b'mincha in the afternoon. As Rashi says, even in Shuk Machne Yehuda, you could accept the fast upon yourself in Shuk Machne Yehuda. However, this is now me talking, not the Gemara. Don't accept the fast upon yourself in Shuk Machne Yehuda on Friday when it's very busy and everyone's trying to get through. Because you're going to slow everything down if everybody needs to wait for you, because the shuk only moves as fast as the slowest person in the shuk. So, let's go weiter. So, and then Shmuel says, B'tfilas mincha. So, Shmuel says that actually in mincha. So Rav says in the afternoon. Shmuel says no, not just in the afternoon, but in the prayer of Mincha. Rav Yosef, Kavasi de Shmuel Mustavra, says Rav Yosef that actually it sounds like it makes sense like Shmuel that Davka in Mincha you accept it. Tichsiv b'Megillas Taanis, It said in Megillas Taanis. Friends, we mentioned Megillas Taanis in Masechta Rosh Hashanah, right? It's a brisa that lists all of these days that we don't fast on, these Yom Tivs that we do not fast on them. So loyin kol inish diyesi aloi mikad mazdino yiyaser. All right. So it says in Megillas Taanis, therefore, right? So you have all of these days that are Yom Tivs and we do not fast on them. Kol inish diyesi aloi mikad mazdino. So any fellow who has already before these days were stated to be Yom Tivs, not to fast on them. If you already had a long-standing fast, right? Let's say every Monday and Thursday for the entire year you were planning to fast, and then some Yom Tiv happens. So Yaser. So what you do is you just so Beseder, so you could fast on those days. See, if your fast, we're going to see in a few minutes, if your fast preceded these Yom Tivs, so then you can continue your fast. Yaser. What does that mean? Yaser. You should make it Aser. So my lab Yaser atzmo bit slow. So Mustam, what it means is that you should make, so the day before the fast day, right? So let's say every Monday and Thursday you're supposed to fast. So the day beforehand, you'll just make, you'll say, look, I'm going to be fasting. Tomorrow you do that in Mincha. Lo ye Aser atzmo. No, you could say it means that it will be made Aser lav davka in your prayer itself. All right. Fine. Pligi beha Reb Chia and Reb Shimon B'Rebbe. Okay, so Taka Machlokas Reb Chia and Reb Shimon B'Rebbe. Chad Omer Yeyaser v'Chad Omer Yeyaser. Okay, so one of them says Yeyaser, that Davka in Mincha he has to say that tomorrow I'm going to be fasting. The other one says Yeyaser, that it will become Aser. It doesn't necessarily have to make it, say in Mincha that tomorrow I'm going to be fasting. Manda Omer Yeyaser Kidam. So Manda Omer says that Davka needs to make it Aser in Mincha, kilu, that at Mincha he has to say, look, tomorrow I'm going to be fasting. So how do you understand the brisa Megillas Taanis when it says, right, kol inish de yesi aloi mikan mazdino yaser? How does he understand yaser if he says that it's yaser, that it becomes aser, that i.e. it's going to be a fast day even if he doesn't accept it at Mincha? So the Tanya, as we learn in the brisa Megillas Taanis, kol inish de yesi aloi mikad mazdino yaser. That any fellow who already had a long-standing fast prior to these Yom Tovs and Megillas Taanis, it will be forbidden. What does that mean? Ketzad, how does this look like? So for example, a fellow said that the entire year he's going to fast every single Monday and Thursday of the entire year. And then it turned out that some of these Yom Tivs that were written in the Bryce of Megillas Taanis, that we don't fast on them, turned out to be on a Monday or Thursday. So you have a conflict. So if his acceptance that he's going to fast every Monday and Thursday preceded these Yom Tovim, so then Yavtil Nidro es Gzerasenu. So then his neder, right, his fasting overrides these Yom Tovim, and he can fast on those Mondays and Thursdays. But if these festivals, these Yom Tivs, these holidays already were established before this fellow accepted upon himself that he's going to fast every Monday and Thursday, so then if Monday or Thursday conflicts with these festivals, so then the festivals win out, and he will not fast on those days. All right. The rabbis taught. So we had said, friends, this is Givaldi. So we had said that on certain fasts you're allowed to eat the entire night until Amud HaShachar, right? So, for example, Taanis Esther, the fast of Esther before Purim. So it only starts, for example, at Amud HaShachar. You're allowed to eat the entire night beforehand, as opposed to Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur. We're already at Shkia, you stop eating. So Tanarbanan ad Mosai Ochav V'Shoseh. So for the fast days that you're allowed to eat all night until the morning, when do you have to? What's the cutoff? When do you stop eating? At Shiyalo Amud HaShachar, the answer is at dawn. At dawn, you stop eating. Divrei Rebbe. Oh, that's Rebbe's opinion. Rabbi Elazar B'Reb Shimon Omer, says Rabbi Elazar B'Reb Shimon, Ad Kros HaGever, until the rooster cock-a-doodle-doos. At that point, you're not allowed to eat anymore. Omer Abaye, Lo Shanu Ela Shelo Gomer Sudaso. Now that's only if you didn't finish your meal. So Kilu, if you're eating and eating and eating and eating, when do you have to take your last bite? So we said, right, either Amud HaShachar or the rooster. Aval Gomer Sudaso Eno Ochel. But if he had already finished his meal prior, so then he doesn't start eating anymore, right? So let's say like a little bit before Amud HaShachar, for example, he finished his meal, so he shouldn't pick up anymore, he shouldn't, eat anymore after that, right? So only if you're in the middle of the meal, so the last bite is going to be either at the Amud HaShachar or the rooster. Eisve, we have a kasha. Eisve Rava asks a kasha. Gomer v'amad, hareza ochel. Rava says, wait a second. We have a brayso that says that if a fellow finished eating and he got up from his meal, hareza ochel, he can continue eating until Amud HaShachar. Hasum kshelo silek. So that's talking about where, well, he may have been done eating, but they didn't remove the table. Because they didn't remove the table, so it's kilu, they're still in the middle. Alright? Ikudamid, that those who say, on my Rava, says Rava, Loshanu elik shelo yashin. Says Rava, that when they say that you're allowed to eat up until the morning, so that's as long as you haven't slept. If you stayed up all night, right, there's a different way to understand this. If you stay up all night, so then memele you can continue eating until Amud HaShachar or the rooster. Aval yashen eno ochel. But if you go to sleep, even if you wake up before Amud HaShachar, you're not allowed to eat, right? I think lemaise the halacha is that if you go to sleep, if you're planning to wake up early and eat before the fast day, you should specify that before you go to sleep. Like, I'm planning to wake up and eat before the fast day. Otherwise, memele the fast sort of sets in, and as we see from Rava, right? If you went to sleep, so then eno ochel, even if you wake up before Amud HaShachar, you cannot eat. Eisve Abaye asks Akasha Yoshin v'Amar Areza ochel. But Abaye says, 1 second. We have a brayso that says that if a fellow went to sleep and then got up, he's allowed to taka eat. So b'misnamnim, that's talking about where he didn't do a proper sleep. He just dozed off a shtickle. Eichidami misnamnim, what's dozing off a shtickle? Amar Rav Ashi. Nim v'lo nim, tir v'lo tir, dekar le'v'ani v'lo yoda adurei svara v'chimadkar le'madkar. Classic. Says Rav Ashi, it's nim v'lo nim. He's kilu dozing off, he's dozed, not dozed, somewhere in between. Tir v'lo tir, awake, a little, not awake, somewhere in between. Dekaru le'v'ani, you could call out to him and he'll take an answer. V'lo yoda adurei svara, but he wouldn't be able to give you any complicated svaras. V'chimadkar le'madkar, if you remind him of something, you'll say, oh yeah, he'll remember. So kilu, he's a shtickle, he's not poshit sleeping, but he's not poshit awake either. Somewhere in the in between. Somewhere in the in between. Omer of Kahana, Omer Rav, says Rav Kahana in the name of Rav. Of course, Rav Kahana was a Talmud Chaver. There were two Rav Kahanas. This Rav Kahana was a Talmud Chaver of Rav. So, says Rav Kahana in the name of Rav, Yochad shekibel olav Taanis, a fellow who accepted upon himself to fast. Also, benilas a sandal, he's not allowed to wear leather shoes. Chashinan shema Taanis tzibur kibel olav. So, because we're concerned, what if he accepted upon himself the stringencies of a communal fast? So, ki'ilu, meaning a fellow who accepts upon himself that he's going to fast stam, he didn't specify that it's going to be a Taanis yochid. Maybe he accepted upon himself as though it was going to be a public fast with all the stringencies, right? Because in those days, I believe we learned the other day, right, that a public fast is already from the night before, and you don't do work, right? There's a lot more stringencies, including you don't wear leather shoes. So what should the fellow do? How should a person accept a fast upon himself? He should say the following: he should say, look, Eibishter, tomorrow I will be before you in an individual fast. So specify that it's an individual fast. Amrulei Rabbanon Rav Sheshes. So now the rabbi said to Rav Sheshes, O kachazinon Rabbanon de Messiah Misanayu v'asu levei Taanisa. So they said to Rav Sheshes, I don't understand. We see that the rabbis put on their shoes, they're wearing leather shoes, on public fast days. And Rav Sheshes got upset. He said, what is this? Are they also eating? Because Rav Sheshes understood that in Bavel, right, meaning Shmuel had said the other day that Ein Taanis beBavel, Ein Taanis Sibur beBavel. That in Bavel we don't have these public fasts anymore. We have Tisha B'Av, Yom Kippur, but other than that, we don't have Taanis Tziburs with all these stringencies. Rav Sheshes disagreed and assumed that we did, and therefore, so he said to Rav Sheshes, "Look, all the rabbis are going to on the fast days. They're walking around in leather shoes." And he got very upset. He said, "What are they even eating? What is this? Never heard of such a thing." Abai v'Rava ma'ile ki mesaime apanto. So Abai and Rava on fast days, they would wear like leather tops of shoes. I guess not regular leather shoes. Okay, that looks funny. The Merema Marzutra, they would, I guess, switch around their shoes. That's funny. I guess they would put the right shoe on the left shoe and the left shoe on the right shoe. All right. Huh. All right. Okay. Rabbanan Devei, Ravashi Nafke Kyorchayu. The rabbis in the Beis HaMedrash of Ravashi would just wear their shoes normally. Sabik Yoda Amar Shmuel, Ein Taanis Sibur beBavel, El Tisha B'Av Bavad. Because they held like Shmuel, who says that there's no communal fasts in Bavel. There's no Taanis Tziburs, right, with all the stringencies, such as, including not wearing leather shoes. That doesn't exist in Bavel, according to Shmuel. And therefore the rabbis, by the Beis HaMedrash of Ravashi, they just wore regular shoes on fast days, of course, but not including Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav, Love Adam Taniso Uforeya. A fellow could lend on a fast day. So if he was, we saw this the other day also with Reb Zera, right? We had seen that there was a certain decree at a certain point that you weren't allowed to fast. The Yidden, well, not just you, specifically Jews. It was, what's it called? When they do something, only they like target certain like communities. It was like I don't know. All right, there was what's it called? Oppression? No, whatever it is. Nudniks. Anyways, right. So we saw with Reb Zera that they said that the Yidden weren't allowed to fast. So they said, okay, well, we'll just kind of like accept upon the fast, and we'll just kind of like actually do it later. So I wonder if that's kind of like a similar idea. But anyways, Rav Yehuda Amar Rav says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav. Maybe this is where Reb Zera Taka learned it from. Reb Zera was a student of Rav Yehuda when he was in Bavel. So if a person was planning to fast on Monday, so he could end up, not fasting on Monday and making up for it another time. Ki Amisa Kamei de Shmuel, when Rav Yehuda said this in front of Shmuel, Amarli. So Rav Yehuda says that when he said it in front of Shmuel, what Rav said, that a fellow can lend and pay back on his fast days, i.e. not fast on that particular day and just make up for it in another day. Amarli. So it says Rav Yehuda that Shmuel said to him, V'chi neder kibel alei, delo sagi, delo mishalim, nitzauri nafshi kabel alei, imatzi mitzar nafshi, lo matzi lo mitzar nafshi. So Shmuel seemed to disagree. He seemed to say, meh. Shmuel didn't seem to be convinced that, Yidap got to make up for it. Right? Shmuel sounds like he was being a little more lenient. He says, what did he accept a vow upon himself to that it would be a problem if he doesn't pay it back? It's already nafshe kabel alei. No, he was gonna afflict himself a shtickle. Look, if he's able to afflict himself, so afflict yourself. But if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, so okay, it didn't work out. Ikadamar, to those who say, Amar Rav Amar Rav, says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav, Lov Adam Taniso Foreya, the same thing as before, that a fellow can sort of borrow against his fast and pay it back later, i.e. if it doesn't work out for him on a certain day, he can just fast a different day instead. Kiamisa Kami de Shmuel, and it says Rav Yehuda in the name of, says Rav Yehuda that when he said this, reported this in the name of, before Shmuel, Amarli Shmuel said to me, says Rav Yehuda, Pshita, obviously, he can, just treat that day as a regular day and make up for it on a different day. Lo ye'ela neder. This should just be treated like a vow, a neder. Milomotzi, l'shalume, umezel, l'machu l'yom achrina. No, you should just be able to pay it back a different day. Kilu, if it doesn't work out today, seder, but just fast a different day. It's just like a neder. Rav Yoshua Brei, the Rav Idi, Ikla, the Rav Ashi. So Rav Yoshua Brei, the Rav Idi, well, I don't know, it says Rav Asi, let's say Rav Asi, fine. So Rav Yoshua Brei, the Rav Idi visited Rav Asi. Okay, this sounds exciting. Avdule Egla Tilsa, oh, to made for him epis, a very geschmack calf. Oh, Amule, they said to him, Lito Marmidi. They said to Rav Yoshua Brei, the Rav Idi, why don't you taste epis? We made this delicious meat. Amule, but Tainiso Yosivno. So Yoshua Brei, the Rav Idi says, no, I'm fasting. Wow, the second time we see fasting as an excuse. Although, I don't know, maybe it says it was very good meat, so maybe it wasn't an excuse. But anyways, they said to him, okay, but why don't you just borrow and pay back? Eat this delicious meat and then, fast a different day. Don't you hold of what Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, that a fellow can borrow against his fast day and pay it back? Skip fasting on this day and just make it up a different day. Taanis. Oh, so Rav Yoshua Brei Davidi says, well, there's another detail there, which is that this is a fast for a bad dream. That a fast is very good for a bad dream, like fire is very flammable for like flammable stuff. What's na'ores? Like flammable stuff, right? Like shavings and stuff, I think. Rav Chizn says Rav Chizn uvo bayom, tavka on that day. So says Rabbi Yeshua Brei the Ravidi that Itaka had a bad dream the night before, and therefore fasting is very good the next day, and that's why he can't just make up for it, because it's got to be the next day. Rav Yosef afilu b'Shabbos, says Rav Yosef that you can even fast the Taanis Cholom on Shabbos. My takante, what about? So how do you make up for the fact that then you're not going to have Oinig Shabbos? Leisif Taanisa, then you have to do another fast for the fact that you fasted on Shabbos. So Kielu, sure, if you need to do a Taanis Cholom on Shabbos, so Beseder, but you're going to have to make another fast to make up for the fact that you fast on Shabbos. Alright, very, very nice. Friends, we get to a new Mishnah. Avru Elu v'lo nenu. So we already got to sort of the first sets of fast days, right? We had said that if it didn't rain by the 17th of Kislev, of Cheshvan, yes. So then the Yechidim start to fast. And then if by Kislev, Rosh Chodesh Kislev, it doesn't rain, so then we already start fasting for the tzibur, but still you can eat at night. It's not quite particularly stringent. Now, Avru Elu v'lo nenu, if these sets passed and still no rain, which, by the way, Baruch Hashem, here in Eretz Yisrael, we have a shtickle rain. It's very, very nice. So, excuse me. Okay. Yeah, in Eretz Yisrael, we like the rain. In Chutz La'aretz, it can rain whenever, so it's not a special thing. Over here in Eretz Yisrael, it's a special thing when it rains. Avru Elu v'lo nenu. So now, if all these days pass and it didn't rain, Bezdin goes in Gimel Tainios Acheros al Tzibur. So then Bezdin, they decree more fast days. Ochlin v'shosin miba'od yom. And in this case, so you can eat and drink while it's still light outside. V'asurim b'malach, right? But once it gets dark already, you cannot eat, kind of like we do now in Tisha B'Av. V'asurim b'malacha, you're not allowed to do any work. Uverchitza, and you're not allowed to wash and bathe. Uvesicha, and anointing with oils. Uvinilas asandal, you can't wear leather shoes. Of tashmish amita, marital relations. V'noalin esamer chatzos, and they lock up the bathhouses. They lock up the bathhouses. No washing, no bathing, none of that. Avu elav lo nenu, and if these pass already, these are 6 communal fasts, right? We had the fast of the Yechidim plus another 6 for the community. Bezdin goes in Alein Od Sheva. So then Bezdin makes another 7 fasts. And I imagine that each one of these are... not each one of these, right. No, meaning the 3, I guess, would be Monday, Thursday, Monday. And then I guess if that didn't work out, then they do another Monday, Thursday, Monday. And then after that, I guess it's Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday, I guess. All right. Shein Yud Gimel Tanios al Tzibur. That's a total of 13 fasts on the congregation. And these got even more stringent. Than on these masriin, we taka blow shofar. Friends, remember, or I think chatzotzus taka, right? We learned about this in Masechta Rosh Hashanah, right? That we were contrasting the blowings of the fast days with Rosh Hashanah. That Rosh Hashanah it's a ram's horn, and the fast days it's the chatzotzus. And they lock the stores. On Mondays they open up when it gets dark, so that people could buy provisions to break their fast of Chamishi, and on Thursday Mutarin the stores could be open Pnei Kvod Shabbos out of the honor of the Sabbath to prepare for Shabbos. If these additional 7 fasts, or a total of 13 fasts, plus the ones that the Yechidim did, if all of these fasted and the Yidden still weren't answered, so then they just generally decrease their business dealings, building, planting, and betrothments and marriages, and saying hi from one fellow to the next, like people who have been like betrayed by the Eibishter. So very, very shver. And then these individuals continue to fast until after Nisan. If after Nisan it rains, so Siman Klala, it is the sign of a curse. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, that Shmuel had said after the Yidden asked for a king, it's right now the time of harvest. I will pray that it should rain, and that would not be good. So we see during the time of the harvest that after Nisan, already you don't want to have rain at that point. All right, fine. Frekti Gemara, Bishlamu Kulu Izbu Tainug. So the Gemara says, 1 second. Okay, I understand all of these things, they are enjoyable. Rechitza, Vesicha, V'tashmish Hamita, washing, anointing, marital relations, Aval Melacha, Tsaru. But Melache, work. Who likes to work? I like to work, but what do you want me to tell you? That in order for the Gemara to make sense, let's assume that we don't like to work. I like to work though. What's wrong with working? I actually like working. All right, let's go weiter. But akoponim. So the assumption is that working is shver, is modna. So ava malacha tsaru, but malacha is taka painful. So what's the problem with working? You should be able to work on a fast day. It's painful. All right. Amr Chizda, Amr Yirmiyah bar Abba, Amr Kra. Oh, so Rav Chizda says in the name of Yirmiyah bar Abba, who says in the name of a pasuk. Kidshu tzom kiru atzara, that the pasuk says, make a fast day, call it a stopping in atzara. Isvu zakenim, gather the elders ka'atzeres. So we're comparing the tzom, the fast day, to atzara to atzeres, like Shmini Atzeres, Shavuos. Ma'atzeres also b'asiyas melacha, just like on Atzeres, on these festivals, you don't do any work. So Taanis also b'asiyas melacha. So also because we compare a fast day to a work day, to Atzeres. So you also don't do work, just like on Shavuos and Shmini Atzeres, you don't do work. So also on a fast day, you don't do work. Ima Atzeres me'urta av Taanis nam me'urta b'fekti gemara. On Shmini Atzeres, on Shavuos, already from the night before, we stopped doing work. So maybe then also maybe then on the fast days you stop working already from the night before. Amr Reb Zera, says Reb Zera, Ledidi Mefar Shali Minid Reb Yirmiyah bar Abba. So says Reb Zera that it was explained to him what Reb Yirmiyah bar Abba means. Amr Kra Isfu Zakenim Dumed Asifa Zakenim. That the pasuk says 3 things. It says Kitru Tzom, make a fast day. Kiru Atzara, make it like Atzeres, right? Like these festivals where we don't have to work on them. And then it also says Isfu Zakenim, gather the elders. Ma'asifa Zakenim Bayom, just like the gathering of the elders on the fast day happens during the day. Af Tzom Nami Bayom, also on the fast day when they, the gathering happens during the day. So also on the fast day when you don't do work, so that's also dafka during the day you don't do work. Ve'ema mitiara. But maybe it means that taka in the afternoon, right? How do you know that dafka they gather in the morning? Maybe they taka gather in the afternoon. So Rav Shisha Breder Rav Idi Misayele Rav Huna Dar Mitzafra Kinufya. So it says Rav Shisha Breder Rav Idi, well, this supports Rav Huna, who says that the Davka, the Asifa Zakedim, the gathering of the elders, would be in the morning. Hechi Avde, what does that mean? That when there is this public fast day, so the elders would gather together in the morning, and for the first half of the day, they would just be reviewing what's going on in the town. Right? Mitzafra ad Palgad Yoma until Chatzos ma'ayninam b'milim demata. They would just kind of like review like what was going on in the city. Mikan ve'elach, and then from Chatzos and onwards, Riva Diyoma korin b'sifra ve'aftarta. So then for a quarter of the afternoon, they would be reading from the Torah and the Navi. Mikan ve'elach. From then on, ba'inon rachamei, they would pray for mercy. Shenamar, as the pasuk says, "Vayakumu al omdom vayikru b'sefer Torah Hashem Elokeim." It's a pasuk in Nehemiah that it says that they got up and they read in the Sefer Torah, Revius Hayom for a quarter of the day, Revius Misvadim, and then for the final quarter of the day they would do vidui, confession, u'mishtachim l'Hashem Elokeim, and they would bow down to the Eibishter. Ipuchana. So then the Gemara says, wait, but how do you know that the reading from the Torah and the Navi and the prayers, how do you know that was in the afternoon? Maybe that was happening in the morning and the Asifa Zakenim was talking in the afternoon. So lo sakadaitich, no, that can't be because the pasuk says ve'ela ye'osvu kocharid b'divrei Elokei Yisrael, that Ezra says that to me would gather, I believe it was Ezra, would gather all of those who feared the words of God. Almal Agola, because of the stuff that the Yidden were doing, we go Minchas Ha'erev Kamti Taanis Va'ev Shakap El Hashem, and it says that Davka in the afternoon, then I got up and I prayed. So we see that Kilu, the first part of the day they were like gathering together and reviewing what the goings ons in the city, and then the second half of the day they Davka were reading the Torah and praying and things like that. Friends, that was Daf Yud Beis of Masechta Taanis. What did you guys think? So we talked about a few things, right? We talked about fasting for partial days, right? That when you fast for a partial day, you still do have to kind of fast the entire day. Otherwise, it doesn't count as a fast. It's just what a partial day is when, later on in the day, you realize like, well, I haven't really eaten all day, so I may as well just finish it up. So that's key to a partial fast. We then talked about how exactly do you accept a fast upon yourself. We saw a machlokas between Rav and Shmuel. Rav says you accept upon your fast in Shuk Machne Yehuda, and then I sort of recommended to avoid doing it on a Friday, or I guess even an Erev Yom Tif, any day where it's very, very packed and people are just trying to get through and do buy what they need to. So it says Rav, you could even accept the fast upon yourself in Shuk Machne Yehuda, whereas Shmuel says no, it's Davke in Mincha that you accept the fast upon yourselves. We then said, so on a fast day that you can eat all night and you only have to fast the next day, so when can you fast until? So we saw two options. Abaye had said that you could fast, we saw a machlokas, right? Rebbe and Reb Elazar Reb Shimon. Rebbe says that you could eat until Amud HaShachar. Reb Elazar Reb Shimon says that you can eat until the rooster starts making noise. And then the question was, okay, so it says Abaye, but that's only if you're in the middle of your meal. If you're eating up until the Amud HaShachar, when the rooster makes noise, so then you have to stop at that point. But if you already had finished eating before then, don't start eating. Whereas Rava says, no, what this means is that this is as long as you haven't yet gone to sleep. If you haven't yet gone to sleep, so then you can eat all night until that point. But if you went to sleep, so even if you woke up early, you wouldn't be able to eat. But I think the solution is that before you go to sleep, you just like stipulate that you're going to be waking up early to eat. We saw the opinion of Yehuda in the name of Rav, that a fellow could decide that on the day that he was supposed to fast, he's going to eat and just make up for it another day. We saw the exception being a Taanis Cholom, that if you're fasting because of a bad dream, so you davka want to do it the next day, you don't want to make up for that another time. And then we saw that after the sort of first six communal, after the first sort of set of three communal fast days, when there isn't rain at the beginning of Kislev, if there still is no rain, they do another 3 and then another 7 for a total of 13. And we said on these days you don't do work, you don't wash up, you don't wear shoes, things like that, kind of almost similar to like Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur in that sense. Friends, That was Daf Yud Beis of Masechta Taanis. I hope you enjoyed it very much. Have a great day. Peace out.